What's going on, my PT peeps, my walking dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eye Bright, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 16, the mid-season finale. Spoiler warning, obviously, for Season 11, Episode 16. What did you like, Season 11, Episode 16? I liked it. I enjoyed it. It definitely had the dramatic feel, intensity of this, and it felt like a finale. But we still have another 8 episodes for the season finale later on this year. Well, we had the whole let's start here and then jump back in time, play with time a little bit. And they did that a lot this part 2 that is, but 19 hours and 1 act of God ago. What was the act of God? What was it? But we see Herschel and Maggie leaving Hilltop, and Herschel is being taken to Annie, Negan, and who would have thought that Negan was going to be the babysitter, right? That's Maggie's worst nightmare. But I feel like Negan has changed, and he would not hurt Herschel. He wouldn't hurt Maggie either. But the fact that we're seeing Marco, more screen time, the red sleeves, the red theory strikes again. Whether you agree or disagree, Marco got killed off, and either way you think about it, he's got red in his shirt. But we'll have to see what happens in the third part. We see the coin with President William Milton, 1982. We see the coin being flipped and caught, and then heads or tails, Lance being basically Two-Face. With the coin, he's Two-Faced. It just is a nice, I don't know, Easter egg, callback, connection, foreshadowing, because he's going to get a scar on his face, so is he Scarface? But we see that the Commonwealth troopers are lined up, and Lance is flipping a coin. Who's going to join Leah? I'm guessing is what this was about, but Lance, being Lance, he's definitely the villain of this. So we see that Max is reading Smashing Atoms, a physics book, and I think the relationship's good. I know some people are like, how is Eugene getting all these women? Well, he was with Shira because of Lance. Max is Eugene's partner, I guess girlfriend, and they fit well together. It's good to see Eugene in a relationship. And then we see Daryl kicking down a door, and they're searching through this house. And later on, we see that the Commonwealth troopers are going to execute these 3. So why did they not do it here? Why did they walk and walk and walk and walk if that was the ultimate plan? Did Lance change that? I didn't really pick that up. Maybe I'll have to watch it again. But either way, the Commonwealth troopers are showing that they're bad guys. You know, they're really taking orders from Lance. And Mercer's not there, so Lance is the person in charge. I'm glad Daryl is using the bayonet on the rifle. It's just a good tool and a good weapon, that's for sure. This I had to laugh at when the guy punched through the walker and got his armor stuck in the walker's guts and also the wall. And it was like, I can't get it out. Ooh, 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 ooh. And he's like, and it's kind of sweet justice that this guy was rude and tough and just a pain in the butt with Daryl, like unnecessarily. But he's also the guy that Daryl kills later on in the episode. So what goes around comes around. You do not mess with Daryl Dixon. That's for sure. It's kind of heartwarming. I know some people don't like Maggie, but Maggie, Herschel, I like the dialogue with Herschel and Maggie, and Herschel doesn't want to be around the guy that killed his father. Can you blame him? But Maggie's doing what she can to keep him alive. There we go. Marco, some people don't remember Marco. He was from Hilltop, I believe, way back when, many seasons ago. The red sleeves. Then we see Leah. And someone had a good point during my live stream that it kind of felt forced and expedited and just picked up the tempo. Like, why is Leah going to kill Maggie? Why is Lance trusting Leah? Like, what? It's just convenient. But either way, it's for the show, and I understand it, and it doesn't matter because Leah got killed anyway. So Leah made it to this part. I was hoping she would make it to part 3, part C, whatever you want to call it, and she didn't. Leah is killed by Daryl later on in the episode, but Lance just hiring people. You know, Lance is the guy who's like, yep, can't wait to see it. Yep, sounds great. This is exciting. Well, you're not going. And I wish Leah said that too, like said something like, man, do you always talk this much? Or, yeah, it's easy for you to be excited. You're not going to the danger zone. The locust thing, like, what was that all about? We've never seen that at all in the zombie apocalypse, in The Walking Dead. And yes, it's biblical and symbolic and all those things, the end of days, apocalypse, end of time. But it just was like, why was it here? Like, I just don't understand what was that all about in this episode. Lance needed to see proof that Maggie was killed. Don't worry, you're not going to get it because she's going to live. And I can't wait to see what's happening in part 3 because at the end, Lance has control of Alexandria, Oceanside, and Hilltop. So Lance is getting what he wanted by force. So Lance is ultimately winning right here, but I doubt he's going to win the war. He's winning the battle, that's for sure. And I wonder if these two are going to ever get together. Don't do it, Elijah. Having a relationship on The Walking Dead is not good news. Ask Henry. Oh, wait, you can't. But Elijah helped Leah open up the hatch to a Whisperer hiding spot. Was cool. I wonder if they'll use the Whisperer skin masks trick at some point, because it's pretty cool to use stuff prior seasons come back around. I love when Maggie looks down at Negan and Negan's like, Maggie? I want him to be like, it stinks down here. Can we get out of here? But either way, they're hiding in, underground tunnel situation. And again, our group is very smart. They have a lot of skills. It's like we got experience points. We defeated this group. These are new skills and traits that we hope to come back around again. Definitely building here with Negan and Maggie. They, I guess, care about each other, not in a romantic way because Negan is with Annie, but they need each other. They help each other. They will continue to help each other. Maggie is grateful for Negan now, and Negan is grateful for Maggie for what they've done with Herschel and keeping their people alive, building the way for the Maggie Negan show, Isle of the Dead, coming in 2023. Does Annie make it? We don't know. Stay tuned for more. Again, the Locust, I get it, the end of days, end of time, end of all that stuff, but why was it such a big point of emphasis here? It almost didn't fit. It's like they threw it in like, how about some locusts? Yeah, good idea. This guy, didn't catch his name, doesn't matter. He was killed by Daryl later on in the episode. And again, why did they have him walk to this junkyard, graveyard for vehicles? Just to basically try to execute them. It's a cool action sequence, and I liked it, and I liked the episode overall, but it just makes you think, like, why did you write this? And why did this happen like this? Like, what is this shot? You see this, like, hue or glaze around Daryl? Like, what is it? And then Aaron comes in, and Daryl's face is like so big towards the camera, it just looks off. We see the Commonwealth troopers are positioning themselves. Daryl, being Daryl's very smart, and you can't hurt Daryl because he's got the plot armor. But just look at this. Daryl's face is huge. It's like this shot was inserted or just put together. Like, what's up with that? But we see, and then you see the hue around Aaron, or it just looks off to me. But Daryl, Aaron, Father Gabriel survive. Aaron is grazed in his shoulder. He should be all right. It's just a flesh wound. But they take care of the Commonwealth troopers, and all I kept thinking is that, man, these Commonwealth troopers are like stormtroopers because they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, right? Or a womp rat in some other Star Wars reference. But we see that the Commonwealth troopers are firing at our group. Daryl's taking them out, and it's a good action sequence, that's for sure. And the plot armor is thick on Daryl, and evidently Father Gabriel. Still don't know about Aaron. Will he die in part 3? Stay tuned for part 3. I just think it fits, right? Aaron is a lovable character. It would be an impactful death, and we haven't really lost that type of character. We lost Alden, Marco, soon to lose Leah in the upcoming minutes of the episode. But again, the stormtroopers are getting picked off. Daryl already looks like a Sith. Give him a lightsaber, get it done. But it's a cool sequence, that's for sure. I mean, I love the stuff with Aaron and Daryl and Father Gabriel. You don't mess with these three, and they took down the stormtroopers. Also, what's up with the snake coming out the bus like the Garden of Eden or something to do that? And then we see Father Gabriel stabs this Commonwealth trooper in the leg and takes his rifle, but it was the snake, and then Father Gabriel takes him out. And I just don't know what the symbolism was needed for this sequence, but you just see the kick to the face and call me Gabriel. Don't mess with Father G, that's for sure. Some people have been talking about Father Gabriel. Seth Gilliam looks very skinny, almost too skinny. I don't know what's going on. I just hope he's all right. We see the walkers coming in from the gunfire, and there's just so many walkers left in the zombie apocalypse of The Walking Dead. Well, this guy's crawling away. He got injured. Daryl smacked him in the face with the butt end of the rifle. And I guess the threat's over because Daryl, Aaron, and Father Gabriel calmly walk over to this guy like, yep, we took care of your people. Now we got to get some answers. He's like, yeah, I'm not telling you nothing. Well, you're going to die either way, so you can get taken out of your misery. We can just take you out here. Father G patches up Aaron, and Aaron looks pissed. But the guy tells them before the walkers devour his body that they're there to clear the field. Get rid of the people they don't trust, I believe, is what that's meant. Gotta love where the clip is in his groin. A terrible shot right here. But Daryl picks up the radio, and he's like, yeah, he ain't here no more. And then Lance is probably freaking out. So Lance calls for this guy. Daryl answers. He's like, oh crap, sorry, wrong number. Boop, who this? And then hangs up. No, Lance knows that his troopers are dead and they got to get going. So come on, let's move. And Lance has got to be freaking out because his plan is still not going well. Then we see this walker. Like, what is this walker doing? You're just biting the armor? I guess it would happen, right? You're like, give me this, I can't get through this armor. But then we go to Pamela Milton practicing her speech. She's all about her speech. Yes, this speech and that speech and these motivating words. Great. Who cares? But we know that Max is going to be trying to get the files. Pamela Milton needs Max to get stuff done. Pamela Milton is like the figurehead that has all these assistants. And you're like, what would I do without my people? I'd be nothing. I can't handle this on my own. Yeah, exactly. So I can't wait for the Commonwealth people to fall because they're just annoying. Like, Pamela Milton's okay. Lance is a bad guy, and Sebastian, we all know, is terrible. Look at all his pencils. What are you writing? But ultimately, we see that Pamela Milton doesn't care about her people because Max brings up the great idea. We have $50,000 overage, and Max says we should give it to an underprivileged family, which they should. Give it back to the people that need it. Got to comment about the red skirt. I know Max should be fine and make it to the end of the series, but will she be in danger? Red, yeah, emphasizes danger for sure. But we see that Max has the great idea, and Pamela Milton shrugs it off, and she doesn't care. She's like, oh, we have to give it to our people for the party, the biggest day there. Is it like their monument day? And then she leaves. What would I do without you? You know, she's useless. But we see that Max is going to go into the filing cabinet here. It's highlighted very much so, and that's where the files are. And I guess she was looking through all the different files. If they were like secret files, why are they here and not locked up? But either way, she goes in, and sorry, it's blurry. I can't really tell what it is. But she finds the list of names that match up with the list of names that Connie and Kelly have. You see Dan McDermott, which I believe is people that work for The Walking Dead are on that list too. It's a nice little Easter egg stuff. But we see that Max finds the information that she's looking for. And as she's snooping around, Sebastian comes in. So the big question here is, does Sebastian know what she was doing? Is he going to use that against Max? Hence the red skirt. Will she be in danger? I think so. She'll be okay, but she'll be in danger. Now Sebastian, being the punk, is like, yeah, well, I try to get a hold of my mom. She doesn't call me back. Let's try to get a hold of her only son. So we know that Sebastian is the only child. You know, nothing wrong with that. But he's definitely a spoiled, privileged, overprivileged punk. But the face he gives Max after he helps her with the file is like, what does he know? And is he drunk or intoxicated or under the influence? But either way, Max takes the file with her to Connie and Kelly. Then we go back to Hilltop at night. And the Barrington house has another explosion. And I'm wondering about the staircase. Did they rebuild the staircase? I mean, this building was on fire. And if it's a wooden staircase, that would have collapsed. But I would think that they rebuilt some things inside the Barrington house, so it makes sense. But as our group is waiting for some reason here, they decide to go. Marco has a couple lines. And that's his emphasis, like he's still there. And then again, what is with this zoom in look, face too close to the camera with this haze around the character? Like it's inserted, like it just looks off. But Marco is like, all right, come on, Elijah, let's go. And then, okay, bang, shot. And then he just falls down. Executed, shot to the back of the head. And then they got to leave because Leah's coming for them. And this is what they're doing with The Walking Dead. We're losing, third string, fourth string characters. And Leah, same type of level of character. But Leah coming after our group, Elijah, Lydia, and Maggie, as locusts fly all around her. And they come and see the body. Marco's body's left there. Not going to turn into a walker because the brain was killed. And then we see this walker inside the house, the Barrington house. And if that is not a Two-Face Easter egg connection, foreshadowing of Lance, I don't know what is, because that's straight Two-Face right there. And then we see Lance with his Commonwealth trooper that's looking like he's a cat burglar. And then they leave Hilltop and they're trying to still go after Maggie and still get this done without needing the help from Pamela Milton. Then we see Father Gabriel taking out a Commonwealth trooper, cleaning off his knife. Aaron and Daryl, they all split up. And I don't know where Father Gabriel and Aaron go, but Daryl eventually finds Maggie at the cabin. And Maggie, Elijah, and Lydia are walking in the woods. And here's a nice little callback to I'll find you. That's what Maggie says to them. And it's not a big deal, but that's what Glenn says to Maggie. And then you can line up. Maggie says, go on without me. I'll catch up. I'll find you. Basically setting up Maggie versus Leah without Elijah and Lydia getting in the way. No collateral damage like the Commonwealth troopers that were with Leah. And we see the Commonwealth. Magna finally has another appearance. And they're looking over the stuff in the files that Max found. We don't really see much about the files and what's there. But if they talk about coordinates and stuff that's on the list, like a bunch of people and coordinates that could be connected with the CRM, like their outposts or something there, because it could fit. And if we don't get some CRM connections pretty soon, the series is going to be over. That's for sure. But they're all talking about what to do, and Connie's like, I need proof if I'm going to write stuff. I can't just write it without proof. I mean, you could, fake news, right? But Magna is translating for Connie, and we still don't know who wrote the list for Connie and Kelly. Some people think Magna, I think Mercer. We don't see Mercer in this episode. They get a knock on the door, and it's Ezekiel. So we got this stuff going here. We're going to have Ezekiel's people. We're going to have probably Magna's people when she works with the, waiters and waitresses. Connie and Kelly with the paper. Max, Mercer, Eugene. It's all coming together for the big revolution, the uprising, the revolt at the Commonwealth. And that's going to be hopefully a big part in part 3 because it fits. And that's basically how the comic ends. Well, a big part of how the comic ends. And so they're going to start the revolution and they're going to ride together to get it done. We ride together, we die together. Bad boys for, and then we go back to the woods with Maggie hunting Leah. And it's very dramatic with the walker. Like Maggie has her gun and then she holsters her gun and takes out the knife and then stabs the walker and puts it down quiet to not make any noise. And it's tense, and it's supposed to be tense. It's dramatic, it's impactful, and it's okay. But it's like a little too much for it. Maggie sees Leah and shoots a couple shots, hits the tree, and it's almost like Maggie is the special forces person here. Like she's actually getting stuff done, but Leah ultimately gets the upper hand and captures Maggie. So Maggie hits the tree and then actually shoots Leah in the leg as she's running away. So this is the second time that Maggie shot Leah and didn't kill her. First time in the shoulder, this time in the leg, but Maggie fires a couple rounds off. And it's funny how they have, guns and bullets now. But when the Whisperer's around, nobody had nothing. It's just convenient. So Leah is patching herself up, the blood trail, but maybe by design because Maggie comes around the tree and then it's like blurry, can't really tell. But Leah knocks out Maggie, captures her, and takes her back to the cabin. So back to the cabin, Leah's cabin. It's back to season 10C, which is a good connection there. Again, it's not wasteful. If you saw those episodes, Leah was introduced there. So was the cabin, Daryl, all this. But besides having Maggie get out and fight Leah and then Leah dies, what's the point of this conversation? Like, who cares if you're keeping her alive? Because she's like, you killed my people. I killed your people. You want to kill my family. Blah, 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 blah. More dialogue. It's like the constant villain explaining everything so the good guy can have enough time to get out of the ropes. But wouldn't Leah have knots that you can't get out of? I would think so. But either way, it's more talking, more dialogue. Leah is a leader of this. Maggie's a leader of this. They don't like each other. Two alphas fighting against each other, right? But ultimately, as they're talking more and more and more, it's just like over dialogue, which happens in shows. It's not just The Walking Dead. And I get it. They got to build up the 40 some odd minutes of the show. But why didn't Leah just kill Maggie? Because of plot armor. I'm guessing Leah left this for Lance where to go, because I just don't know why this was here. Is that Leah's thing that she tied around her leg to leave as a trail for where Lance needs to go? Because I'm like, why is that there? But again, Maggie, Leah, talking, more talking. And since we already know that Maggie and Negan are getting a spin-off show, why should we be worried about Maggie living or dying right here? Because we don't have to. Maggie has to survive for that show. But again, she wiggles out of the knots and she swings and just punches Leah. Leah would have fired a gun right there. If you make any movement, it's just that simple. But again, fight sequences. We needed another fight sequence here. So it's Maggie versus Leah. And it's a pretty good fight, and it's good that Leah basically is winning the fight because it just makes more sense. Like Maggie, badass chick and tough, and you know, she can do all that and fire a gun and she knows how to fight. But again, Leah is special forces, so she gets the upper hand and Maggie's in trouble. But Maggie's more important for the show, so somebody's got to come in and intervene. It's just fitting that it would be Daryl here. So again, if we didn't know that Maggie is going to have her own show with Negan, we would worry about her, but we knew she would be safe. And so Leah is trying to take out Maggie, and as she is, shot in the back of the head, basically how she took out Marco. So what goes around comes around, right? Karma's a... But either way, Leah is taken out by Daryl. And I like the Leah character. Lynn Collins did a great job, so hopefully people are not hating on the actress and the character. She was a fill-in-the-gaps kind of stopgap person for the show, and it worked for the most part. She was connected with Daryl, and some people didn't like that, so Daryl shoots Leah, and as Lance and his people come towards the cabin, it's pretty cool that Daryl sees Lance right there. He takes aim with his rifle, looks through the scope, and it's pretty cool. This would probably happen because if you look closely at it, he fires right at Lance, but the bullet would probably get knocked off course a little bit from the window. So Lance is hit in the cheek. Maggie, isn't doing well after getting beat up, basically. But Daryl fires a couple more shots, and he leaves. And I can't help but comment on the red drapes in the cabin, Leah's cabin. But we see that the Commonwealth troopers are coming towards the cabin, and they can't hit anything, so our people are safe, that's for sure. But Lance is hit in the cheek. That's a nice scar there. We're like, how are you going to explain this to Pamela Milton? Well, this is going to help you because you can say, we were attacked. We cannot trust these people. I had to do this, so I took over the communities. This is going to help Lance's story with Pamela Milton because I'm sure he was trying to hide this, get stuff done, and get it done without her help. This probably helps him. He goes into the cabin, and just in case you didn't know, Leah was shot in the back of the head, and she's dead. So the mercenary was taken out by the plot armor, that's for sure. And something had to happen for Lance to show his true villain side to take over stuff. So he hired Leah, whether it was expedited or quick to do, it just had to be done. As he's standing there inside the cabin, I guess his jaw would be impacted by the bullet, that's for sure. And he can't really talk. He sees the window, and that's how I guess Maggie and Daryl escaped the cabin through the window. He's like, we're gonna take it all. I can't move my jaw, so I talk like this. We're gonna take it all. And he does. We see Maggie, and we saw this photo way back when, many months ago, on Instagram from the director of photography, and it was connected with Leah's death. So we see Daryl, Maggie, Father Gabriel, and Aaron, all safe, all good to go. And I think they all survived the series. Maybe not Aaron. I think Aaron is still my choice to die in part 3. We'll have to see. Maybe it's by Lance and Alexandria. But we see Negan trying to help Herschel get out of the Whisperer hiding spot. Herschel don't care. Negan's like, ugh, this kid's gonna be the death of me. Is it? We'll have to see. And I do think it's cool that they used Whisperer hiding spots because that would make sense because Lydia was a Whisperer. Then we see Max put the file back into the filing cabinets, or the files back into the filing cabinets. And as she walks back, it's almost like on cue. She's like, okay, I'm going to put the files back, walk briskly back to my desk, and look at all these pencils. Like I just can't help but look at all those pencils. And Pamela Milton comes into the office, slams down the paper. Pamela Milton is lying to you. Who wrote this? Who did this? Well, we know who did it. She's got to figure it out. Connie, gonna be in trouble, right? I guess. And Max is like, oh, we done did it now. Then we go to Alexandria and we see the Welcome to Alexandria sign, which is pretty cool to see where this is if you've ever been to Sonoy. And then you're like, whoa, a Commonwealth banner. Yep. So the Commonwealth troopers have taken over Alexandria, Hilltop, and Oceanside. So my question is, who did they take out, if anybody, at these communities? And as Lance is walking there inside Oceanside, and it's good to see Oceanside, but we don't see Cindy, Luke, Jules, we see Rachel and the rest of these other people, but we see that Lance has control. And then a close-up shot of the coin, United States of America, the buffalo or bison on there. And my question is, you see the President William Milton, and before it was 1982. So was President Milton the older president? Like one of the founding fathers the Miltons were. It just makes me wonder about the coin, and it would make sense if he was like one of the earlier presidents, or the Miltons were, or William Milton is the great-great-grandfather of Pamela Milton or something, because this is 1982, so, you know, we have older presidents on our currency, but we see that Lance catches the coin and then slaps it down on his wrist. Heads or tails? We'll have to see. Decide your fate by the coin, like Two-Face. And there you go, guys. That's my review breakdown, things we caught in Season 11, Episode 16. Like, share, subscribe, support the BT channel when you can. Did you like Season 11, Episode 16? Are you enjoying Season 11 as a whole? Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Stay safe. And as always, tell them Daryl.